with your host, Cosmoncal.
All was, all is, all ever shall be. The All spake, and motion was, and motion became his speech, and life began to stir in the womb of silence. I am, he said, the unseen became felt, the hidden became breath, and there was no thing, great or small, that was not him. He is the soul of all. The stars, his eyes, the wind, his whisper, the seen and unseen, his body and soul, by his presence, life, by his presence, death, by his presence, the quickening, the motion, the eternal flame, first and last, beginning and end. Two forces flowed forth, the seen, corporeal, heavy, fleeting, the unseen, potent, eternal, invisible. From these he formed all life, and man, chief over all, male and female, made in reflection of the two. And to awaken man to him, he whispered, "Name me, not by idol, nor star, nor beast, but by what you hear in the wind." And man listened, and named the Creator by the sounds of the breath of earth, Eoi spoken now, Jehovih, not a God of form, but the living presence within all forms. I am, the all light, the all motion, the love that moves the universe.
I need a faith is white foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, and the faith is light. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, and the faith is light. I need a faith is white, full of prayer every day, moving with intention, never drifting astray. Discipline and gentle, but firm and approachable, grounded in the light, in the presence always notable. See how she carry quiet strength in the frame, not for empty talk or for playing no games. Mind kept in order, spirit kept in line, building from the base, hope you rise over time. Simple in the walk, not impressed by the shine, keeps the vessel clean, every action in line. Through the highs and lows, she don't break or divide, keeps the path steady as she walk at your side. No confusion in the aim, no drift in the road, helps refine the work, keeps it under control. This for the faithless, seeking peace over noise. Watch how it show when it steps in the poise. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, in the faith is light. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, in the faith is light. Keep it so soft and don't move with the crowd, balanced in the ways but never speaking it loud. She got a prayer for the souls that have lost their way, keeps memories close though friendships fade. Not the type to chase every sign of the pit, understands the pull but she keep the vision clear. Idea building by Jehovah's design, where it's more about the spirit than the growth of the mind. Dressed plain and clean, not impressed by the drip. When the pressure hit, she never fold or flip, standing in the place, never quick to react. When the noise get loud, oahspe get cracked. She move with awareness, see the shifts in the air, knows what to give and what's forbidden to share. Carries it with grace, how she walk, how she speak. If the vibe get off, we ain't playing for the weak. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, in the faith is light. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman of light, I need a faith is white, walking the path, in the faith is light. Not a bill feel different when the union right. Two aligned in the wheel, both moving alike. Nothing getting in between, no division inside. Everything is sync. When she walk, I feel pride. When the pressure come in, it get handled with ease. No confusion in the steps, everything flow with peace. She don't add to the weight, she be helping to lift. Turn the strain into growth, such a delicate gift. Every move got a reason, every choice got a base. Ain't no drift in the bond, everything in its place. From the mind to the work, it's a unified flow. What was hard on your own, now it's easily growth. This the type of connection that refine over time. Not just love, this alignment in the body and mind. That's the reason it matters. Who's standing beside? Where the faith is wife, keep the whole path aligned. I need a faith is white, foundation built right. With a woman to life, I need a faith is white, walking the path, in the faith is life.
Some readers ask,
The oahspe says the ihins were white and yellow, and the druks were brown and black. Isn't that racial discrimination?
it's a heartfelt question, and it deserves a thoughtful answer. The answer is no. The oahspe is not promoting racism. In fact, it teaches that all souls are children of jehovih, no matter the form they take. But this verse is often misunderstood, especially if we read it through a modern lens. This passage is describing very ancient, symbolic lineages. The ihins were a temporary, spiritually guided race, small and gentle, born of spiritual and earthly unions. The druks were the offspring of disobedient unions between early humans and higher beings, denser in vibration, but still loved. These were not modern races, but spiritual categories from a long past era. In oahspe, colors like white, yellow, brown, and black do not represent race or value. They represent spiritual vibration and density of soul condition, much like an aura. It is about light and evolution, not judgment. Oahspe teaches that the true measure of a soul is not color, form, or title, but how it lives, loves, and serves. We rise not by what we look like, but by how brightly we shine Jehovah's light. So no, this verse is not discrimination. It is a symbolic echo of early spiritual evolution. We must read with discernment, not fear. And above all, remember, the Creator judges no soul by form, only by light.
Everything meets me where it's I wake up with the sun on my skin. Check the stars, yeah, I know when I win. Numbers talking every time I move. 111 saying trust the truth. Copper wrapped around my energy. Crystal sing harmony. Root the crown, yeah, I'm balanced now. Every block is broke itself down. I don't force, I attract. Every cycle brings me back to myself. I'm a goddess, I'm glowing. Everywhere I go, I'm knowing the universe been showing me love. I'm alive, I'm chosen. Intuition in my motion. I don't chase, I'm open to love. My life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. Alright. My life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. Alright. Astrology map my lane. Saturn taught me patience through the pain. Chakras spinning clean and wide. I feel my power when I decide. I don't question why I shine. And the frequency was always mine. From the ethers to the ground. Oh, what's been truth, bring it loud. I remember who I am. Light encoded in my head. I was built for this position. I no fear in my walk, no doubt in my tone. I speak things alive, then I leave them alone. I'm not lucky, I'm tuned. I don't beg, I commune when the veil gets thin. Oh, now listen.
Put on my black shades because my future is so bright. Roll me up a spliff so I can get right. No worries on today, I took the day off. Jamming on the red star. We'll get there walking or by car. Not matter how far. Mr. Cloud Kicker, please don't hurt them. False gods, we gonna work them. Them sacred book got to judge them. You bring them, we raise them, have to serve them. Guns from the depths of my being, organic real. Center of the feeling goes far beyond the ceiling. We got that good stuff in Cosmonera. I got that good stuff in Cosmonera. We got that good stuff in Cosmonera. You got that good stuff in Cosmonera. It's 420, I feel like I'm about to float. Been to a few nations like a spotted goat. Head on swivel in the spirit, intuitive goal. Our stars can't be replicated, now act like you know. We be jamming on the red star with my friend. I got that good stuff, yeah, in Cosmonera. You got that good stuff in Cosmonera. You got that good stuff, yeah, in Cosmonera. We got that.
What are densities and dimensions?
Though the terms may vary, the truths remain eternal. Densities describe consciousness levels, how much light, love, and unity a being holds. The third density is our physical realm of duality. The fourth awakens the heart and compassion. In the fifth, unity returns. And from there, souls rise into radiant service and divine design. Each density is not a place, but a frequency of being, a vibration of how close we are to remembering our oneness with the Creator. Dimensions, on the other hand, are locations in space-time, vast rooms in the temple of creation. The fourth awakens the heart and compassion. In the fifth, unity returns. And from there, souls rise into radiant service and divine design.
I want y'all to pay close attention that there is a system and an order being brought out in oahspe. Right? Salute to everybody out there. We're going to run this through real quick, but I want y'all to pay close attention. There's a system. It's not random. It's not by chance. Right? This same system that's being touted in oahspe in 1881, 101 years later, in 1883, starting in 1881, but finally finishing in 1983, excuse me, 101 years later, we got a book that comes from a total different source, and it agrees not only with this spiritual hierarchy, right? But it also mentions the source of the book That was written 101 years before it. Just saying. We're going to get into it. Let's keep cooking.
Each density is not a place, but a frequency of being, a vibration of how close we are to remembering our oneness with the Creator. Dimensions, on the other hand, are locations in space-time, vast rooms in the temple of creation. Multiple densities can exist within one dimension, just as many harmonies live within a single song. Even Earth is layered in density: physical, astral, ethereal. Planets across the universe pulse in densities of peace, wisdom, healing, and remembrance, even if the human eye cannot yet see them. In the records, these truths form a sacred map, a guide not just of stars, but of soul evolution. So when you feel music stir your heart, when you gaze at stars and wonder what's real, you are remembering the densities you've touched and the dimensions you've walked before. The light within you knows you are not just in this world, you are passing through it. On your return to radiance,
What do we have here?
A guy has his lips stuck to the pole.
It's his.
Big up, big up, big up. Shout out my boy FGK Capone, man. You dig what I'm talking about. Hey, man. Shout out to Pseudo Cedric from the so-called Pseudo Killers, man. You killed yourself, boy. This is terrible, man. Shout out to Pseudo Ced. Let me hold on 1 second. Let me stop this. Let me put this back up there. Hold on. Move from the studio. Let me try it this way. Let me share it this way.
What do we have? What do we have here?
A guy has his lips stuck to the pole.
It's his third time this week.
The revolutionary facial accessory that's starting problems it can't solve. Your 600-pound wife won't kiss you? Slap on a set of bacon lips. Problem solved. Getting caught breaking into your neighbor's house by the guard dogs? Throw them your
Oh no, man. This thing act like it don't want to. Act like it don't want to play today. Let me see. I want to show y'all something real quick. Let me remove this. Let me remove that. Let me show y'all real quick. Shout out to that boy Pseudo said, man. You done brought down the wrath of the gang.
What do we have here?
A guy has his lips stuck to the pole.
It's his third time this week.
The revolutionary facial accessory that's starting problems it can't solve. Your 600-pound wife won't kiss you. Slap on a set of bacon lips. Problem solved. Getting caught breaking into your neighbor's house by the guard dogs? Throw them your bacon lips. Enjoy a smooth getaway. About to get punched in the mouth by a Muslim? Throw on your bacon lips. They'll punch you in the stomach instead. Want a face drop lasagna? Throw on your bacon lips. For the people who lost the genetic lottery but kept buying tickets because putting lipstick on a pig felt too ambitious. Ma'am, can you identify the suspect?
Yes, it was number 4.
How do you know for certain?
I remember his bacon lips.
When dignity is permanently out of stock.
Now and jerk and cage and flavor, man.
Make bacon lips a part of your incomplete education.
Hey, man, one more time for Sid, man. One more time for Sid, boy. You done put a classic together. Sid, Cedric the Pseudo, Mr. Bacon Lips Ortega.
What do we have here?
A guy has his lips stuck to the pole.
It's his third time this week.
The revolutionary facial accessory that's starting problems it can't solve. Your 600-pound wife won't kiss you? Slap on a set of bacon lips. Problem solved. Getting caught breaking into your neighbor's house by the guard dogs? Throw them your bacon lips. Enjoy a smooth getaway. About to get punched in the mouth by a Muslim? Throw on your bacon lips. They'll punch you in the stomach instead. Want a face like drop lasagna? Throw on your bacon lips. For the people who lost the genetic lottery but kept buying tickets because putting lipstick on a pig felt too ambitious. Ma'am, can you identify the suspect?
Yes, it was number 4.
How do you know for certain?
I remember his bacon lips.
When dignity is permanently out of stock.
Now and jerk and cage and flavor, man.
Make bacon lips a part of your incomplete education.
Listen, man. Love, light, balance out there, man. Listen, the game ain't fair, man. The game is not fair. And the game is to be played. So when you throw shots, remember they can always come back. It was funny to the rabbit got the gun. You dig what I'm saying? It was all fun and games, man. Till the rabbit got the gun. Love, light, balance out there to the creative gang, man. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 312, oahspe and the Law of One. Now, you know, for years now, some of the first things I ever brought out about oahspe was, and I knew this because I read the Law of One books, all 5 copies years ago. Way before I got oahspe. And I didn't even remember that it mentioned oahspe in it. I'm gonna just be real. And then after I read oahspe, I remembered that and read it again. And we're gonna get into what the Law of One, a book written 101 years after oahspe, has to say about oahspe. You dig what I'm saying? Then my brother went on a show. Shout out Malachi Maccabee. Shout out to the podcast he went on with the brother Abek. You dig what I'm talking about? Abek. You dig what I'm saying? He's supposedly one of the sharpest with the Law of One. Well, wait till we get a load of me. You dig what I'm saying? Peace to the gang, man. All the GA and GAs. You dig what I'm talking about? The gods and Nirvanian goddesses. Those who stand by the creator, man. Love, light, balance to y'all. As I was saying, this is Jehovah Chronicles number 312. And it just kept coming up. The Law of One just kept coming up. You dig what I'm saying? Um, and I think, to give it a fair shake, you dig what I'm saying? We kind of gotta just dive into what the law of one is, on its base. Um, it's a channeled work that came out, or was channel started in 1981. It was 1983. It was finished. This work was began 2 years before that in 81. But you're gonna see that this is not no fly by night type thing. You dig what I'm saying? And these people have been doing this for years. You dig what I'm saying? And so it becomes astounding in the text when they bring up this little herd of, spiritual text called oahspe. You dig what I'm talking about? And then what's even more astounding is what the law of one actually, or the raw material, aka the law of one, has to actually say about oahspe, man. Truly astounding. You dig what I'm saying? Uh, I ain't write none of this. None of it. You dig what I'm saying? But we are gonna show what's out there. You dig what I'm talking about? The truth, remember, truth don't need no crutch. It don't need you to believe in it or nothing. It just is. Right? And this is one of those things that just are. They got a lot to say about oahspe, but oahspe is the most authentic book to ever be written in the English language. Proven objectively. Look, man, we just gonna go ahead and jump into this real quick. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 312, oahspe and the law of one. You dig what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Let me drop this down here. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. If y'all can hear me well, man, throw me a vortex in the chat real quick, man. We just gonna get to cooking, right? Let's go.
Today we're diving into a text that is, let's be honest, both incredibly detailed and deeply strange. It's called the Law of One, or sometimes the Raw Material. We're going to unpack the whole story, from its roots in some pretty serious UFO research, all the way to the cosmic philosophy it lays out. Let's get right into it. Now, you'd think a story like this would start with some kind of mystical vision, right? But nope, it starts with this claim, a claim of pure scientific inquiry. The guy at the center of it all, Don Elkins, he was a physicist, a professor, and he came at this whole thing not as a believer, but as a scientist trying to solve a puzzle that just seemed impossible. And this wasn't just some weekend hobby. We're talking about a quest that lasted for nearly 30 years.
Now look at that.
Don Elkins and
a lot of people don't know that they was doing this 30 years trying to get results that he felt was up to par. This ain't no fly-by-night stuff.
His research partner, Carla L. Ruckert, were just relentless. They went deep into paranormal phenomena, UFOs, and the very fabric of consciousness itself. Their journey was a slow burn, a really long, patient process. For almost 2 decades, they were just refining their methods, trying to experiment with telepathic contact. But then, in 1981, everything changed. I mean, dramatically. The information they started getting was just different. The quality, the depth, the precision, it was a total game changer. This was the real start of what we now know as the raw material. So their research took them into this world of just bizarre, unexplainable stuff. They were actually guided by an idea from the famous ufologist Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who talked about the high strangeness factor. The basic idea was, counterintuitively, that the weirder a case was, the more likely it was to actually be real. So what does this high strangeness actually look like in practice? Well, one of the biggest and most common pieces of the puzzle they kept finding was this weird pairing. Someone sees a UFO, and then they realize there's a chunk of time they just can't account for. And a pattern started to show up, a really clear one. Witnesses would see a craft, feel this weird compulsion to just stare at it, And only later would they look at a clock and realize time was just gone. In one case, 38 minutes just vanished. And almost every time, it was only under hypnosis that the full story came out, being taken onto a craft and examined by beings that were not human, sometimes even described as machine-like. But hold on, because the weirdness didn't stop in the sky. The researchers started documenting something that was, frankly, even more startling: a direct link between seeing a UFO and then suddenly being able to affect physical stuff with your mind, the phenomenon we call psychokinesis. I mean, picture this. A 14-year-old kid sees a bright light in the sky, and the next thing you know, he can bend a fork almost in half just by talking to it. And this wasn't just stories. Scientists like Professor John Taylor took this stuff seriously. They studied kids who could bend metal objects that were sealed inside glass tubes, which suggested a kind of physics where your consciousness could actually influence the world around you. Okay, and this is where it all comes together. For Don Elkins, the physicist, these weren't just a bunch of random, weird events. They were clues. They were puzzle pieces, and he believed they were all pointing toward a totally new, unified way of understanding reality, a new physics that could explain everything. He was wrestling with these huge questions. The same kind of stuff Einstein was chasing with his unified field theory. How can these ships just appear and disappear? How can a thought bend a spoon? He was convinced there had to be a single, underlying rule that connected it all. And what's so wild is that the telepathic information they'd been collecting for years kept pointing to the same thing. Our science was incomplete. The messages they got consistently said we didn't understand dimensions, that light doesn't really move, but that it simply is, and that all of creation is, at its heart, simple and totally unified.
Hello.
Do you want to play with me?
Sure. You want me to help you with your groceries?
So, after this 30-year hunt for a new physics, it finally happened. In 1981, they made the contact they've been working towards. The source identified itself as Ra, and it delivered this core philosophy that it claimed was the answer to all of their questions. And here it is, the big one, the central idea that everything else is built on, the law of one. The text is very clear. All the separation we see and feel is an illusion. You're not just a piece of the universe. You are the universe, having an experience. And this isn't presented as just some nice feel-good philosophy. According to the raw material, this idea of unity is the fundamental operating law of all of creation. It's saying that everything, a rock, a star, you, me, is all just an expression of a single intelligent, conscious being. Okay, so if everything is one, then what's the point of all this? The separation we feel? Well, from that one single law, the material branches out into this huge cosmic framework for how we evolve. And it all centers on one fundamental choice. The material basically describes two evolutionary highways going in opposite directions. There's the positive path, which is called service to others. It's all about recognizing that unity in everything and expressing it through love and compassion. Then there's the negative path, service to self, which is about using the illusion of separation to gain power and control over others. Ross says both paths eventually lead back to the source, but they couldn't be more different in how they get there. So, how does this evolution actually work? Well, the journey happens through what the text calls densities of consciousness. You can just think of them like grades in a cosmic school. It starts super simple with the basic awareness of minerals in the first density. Then you have the growth of plants and animals in the second. And that leads to right where we are now, third density. This is the big one, the level of self-awareness where we have to make that fundamental choice between the two paths. So why is this a big deal for us right now? Well, according to the text, our planet is at the very, very end of a 75,000-year cycle in this third density. And this whole cycle ends in something called a harvest, which is basically a graduation, where people who have clearly chosen a path get to move on to the next level of experience. And right here is where this huge cosmic story gets really, really personal. The material introduces this special group of souls that it says are on Earth right now for a very specific purpose. The text makes this pretty wild claim. A whole lot of people on Earth right now aren't actually from Earth. They didn't evolve through this planet's cycles of first, second, and third density. They are, in a sense, visitors. These souls are called wanderers. And the story goes, they're basically beings from more advanced densities who volunteered to be born here, on a planet they knew would be confusing and difficult. And their mission? To help with this big planetary transition, this harvest, just by being here. The idea is that their very presence helps raise the collective consciousness of the planet. And the number Ra gives for how many of these wanderers were here on Earth back in 1981, it's just staggering. Approximately 65 million. But this mission is incredibly risky. Because when they're born into our third density, they go through this process of forgetting. I mean, poof, the memory of who they are and why they came is gone. The big danger is that they get totally caught up in the confusion and the drama of this reality and completely forget what they came here to do. So we go from this scientific search for a new physics all the way to this deep philosophy of cosmic unity and purpose. The Law of One really presents this challenging view that our whole lives are a kind of constructed illusion designed for learning and for making a choice. And that leaves us with one final, really personal question to think about.
And again, I said, I don't want to go into theories. Human beings that possibly brought all life with them.
All right, that's just a little short breakdown on the Law of One. Now, what I really wanted y'all to notice out of there is the system and order, right? Now, you know your boy Cosmon got the books, so we gonna go ahead and pull up the Law of One. You dig what I'm talking about? And see what it got to say about oahspe in the first place. And then let's just think about that for a second. Right? We got this little known book, right? Spiritual text called oahspe, very powerful but little known. Even the United States government came after this book, tried to ban all its writings because oahspe exposes old Abraham Lincoln, old Honest Abe, ain't as honest as they was trying to say he was. oahspe exposes that history. So John Lincoln, the son of Abraham Lincoln, sicked the federales on JBN and them down there, and when they was in Shalom, came through, ransacked the place, took all the books. So they thought. You dig what I'm talking about? Was literally taking them off the shelves. But a lot of people had got them personally from the first print, and plus all the material wasn't hidden. But we know how the United States government is. If it's good, they gonna hide it. If it's bad, they gonna weaponize it and then figure out a way to sell it to you as a product. They ain't sold you no oahspe. It's been, for the most part, hidden. Salute that brother Selah Shalom for even being the first to even bring this information out on a social media platform, period. Now, when you get into the time that oahspe says that was supposed to happen, and the exact date that Selah got it and then dropped the information, it's exactly the year that oahspe says it's supposed to be held and will be released to the public. We see Selah putting it online for the very first time. For a book none of us knew existed. These are the so-called things that they just want us to think are coinkydinks. Right? But how about this for a coincidence? A physicist who Don Elkins is, who wrote the the book of the law of one, right? From channel material. You did them something through a medium or source, or what we understand as clairvoyance, clairaudience, right? But through mediumship, 101 years after oahspe had already said this, had been out in existence. Look what Don Elkins asked this spirit called Ra, right? Now this is in 83, right? Book came out in 1882. We're talking 101 years later. He asked, can you tell me who is responsible for transmitting the book oahspe? Now, mind you, in 83, most of us ain't know nothing about this. Most of us weren't even born, or we were little kids, right? So we didn't know nothing about this when this was being written. So they can't say, oh, Cosmon, you doctored that up, or you did this, you did that. No, no, no. Huh? This obscure book with all this light in it, right, is being brought up by a physicist doing metaphysical and spirit work with mediumship. Huh? And look what he asked. He said, can you tell me who is responsible for transmitting the book oahspe? It's crazy that Don Elkins even knew. Huh? After what the government had went through almost 100 years before this to hide it. Even going after faithist groups. I mean, putting the full court press on them. Who is responsible for transmitting the book oahspe? Ra says, this was transmitted by one of the Confederation social memory complex statuses, who, or a civilization of people, right, whose idea was offered to the council was to use some of the known physical history. Huh? Don't oahspe tell you right on the cover that it's going to break down 25,000 years of history on the planet from the Great Deluge to our time now? And a roughly 48,000 year previous history to that, 72,000 years previous to that. Right on the cover. So it's funny, right? Or is it right on point that Ra would admit that it was to use some of the known physical history of the so-called, look what it says, the so-called religions or religious distortions of your cycle. These would be your Cometians, your Sumerians, your Babylonians, your all the way down to our time, right? It said it's going to use the physical history of the so-called religions or religious distortions of your cycle, right, in order to veil and partially unveil aspects or primal distortions of the law of one. And notice that they keep saying this law of one. The law of one is that even though in this quote unquote third dimension or in reality, there is an apparent duality, right? The creator says He is only one. Right? That is broken down nowhere else to that extent except oahspe. Watch this. It says all names can be taken to be created for their vibrational characteristics. The information buried within has to do with a deeper understanding of love and light, of the infinite intelligence through many messengers, to teach those entities of your sphere. Now we can go back and read it, right? This oahspe was transmitted by one of the Confederation social memory complexes, one of his crew, that was offered up to the council. It was to use some of the known physical history of the religions to partially veil and unveil the law of one. Look what it says. All names can be taken to be created for their vibrational characteristics. So it's funny that in oahspe, it clears up the name, what the actual meaning of the name of Moses is, right? In the biblical text, it'll tell you that it means drawn from the water. Actually, Moses means a leader forth. Check it out in Hebrew, right? A leader forth. And that's what Moses actually did, right? The information buried within oahspe has to do with a deeper understanding of love and light. Now, it's funny that as faithists, when we greet each other or we say what's up to, to anybody, what we say to each other, y'all. What's the first thing we say to each other? What's the first thing we say to each other? Love, light, balance. Ain't that the first thing we say? Oh, gang, man, woo. We up out of here, love, light, balance. They saying the information buried within oahspe. Now, this is in the law of one, y'all. This ain't in oahspe. And then let me double down and say this. When you read oahspe and then turn around and read the law of one, you can tell that the angelic beings that were delivering the information contained within our oahspe were on a level that this entity, Ra, wasn't on. If you was on 6th density, the boys that delivered oahspe was on 20. It is a far more comprehensive light and encompasses everything from the earth to the sky to spirit. That's why the book is in and of itself called oahspe, the sky, earth, spirit. What else is there? There ain't nothing but. Right? How is you talking about oahspe that was written in 1882 in 1983 and co-signing it? Like, oh, no, they the truth. They from my crew. See, they had to go to the council showing that system and order, that governmental style of ruling. Don't they say God rules amongst the gods? What would be the equivalent of that in this world? That would be a president ruling in front of the Senate or the Congress. You see what I'm saying? That's a real-time equivalent. A powerful man in front of other powerful men. That's no different than what true God is amongst the lords and lord gods, or the quote unquote lesser gods. Because what you got to understand is there are beings who actually have higher rank than God who come down and work for him. Let that sink in. Right? They come down and lower themselves to help raise man up. Watch this. The information buried within oahspe has to do with a deeper understanding of love and light, and the attempts of infinite intelligence through many messengers. Through Zarathustra, through Abraham, through Brahma, through Iwata, through Poe, through Moses, through Capelia, through Caillou, Confucius, through Gautama, aka Buddha. All the way down to your boy, JBN, all the way down to 2026 today. Salute. Salute to the 4 horsemen. It says, it is the attempt of infinite intelligence through many messengers to teach or learn, or to learn and teach those entities of their spirit or their time. And when that sphere, when they say sphere, that also could be sphere of influence. But what is you talking about, oahspe, before any niggas even had? Listen, only a few niggas in the world had this stuff. 83, you was on the cutting edge. Shout out to Daryl Cosmon, his daddy, man. Daryl was a lineal faithist. He a bloodline, like practicing. His daddy had early. That's why y'all don't see him. The nigga been gone. I ain't mad at him. Salute my brother Daryl Cosmon, though. You dig what I'm saying? But, bruh, watch what it also say. The questioner asks, right? So Rogers doubled down and said, oh, no. oahspe, that's the truth. That came from a group of angelic beings up here who was down with the council of who? We only know God sits amongst the gods in the council. Uh-oh. Look what Don Elkins asked. Don says, have there been any other books that you can name that are available for this purpose that have been given by the Confederation? Ra says, we cannot share this information, for it would distort your discernment patterns in your future. So he's saying, I can't, definitively tell you, oh, this is this, because you wouldn't have went and looked for it yourself. But if you ask about something, you know what I mean, I can give you the light that I got on that. So they asked about oahspe. They said, oh, no, oahspe, that's that one, that's that puro. That's that uncut, unfiltered light. Listen to us talk, and now go back and listen to oahspe. Listen to the clarity. Because the law of one don't do nothing but co-sign oahspe. Watch this. He said, we can't share this information, for it would distort your discernment patterns in your future. You may ask about a particular volume, though. Watch what he asks. He asks, well, who transmitted the Urantia book? Ross says, this was given by a series of discarnate unembodied, entities of your own earth planes, the so-called inner planes, right down here. This material is not passed by the council. For everybody who's trying to say, you know, oahspe like old rancher. No, it ain't. Oahspe like the Mormon text, ain't it, Cosmon? No. And you would know that if you ever stop being disingenuous and just read. Right? Interesting. This is another part right here that I didn't get. When I first read this, I didn't get this, right? And I still had to wrap my mind around this, but oahspe gives a little insight into this. Watch what they have to say about the great so-called sleeping prophet, aka Edgar Casey, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. You dig what I'm talking about? A Casey? Look what they say. I'm gonna just say, look what they say, right? So they gave oahspe the thumbs up, Urantia, and thumbs down, right? He said, so Don Elkins asked, well, who spoke to Edgar Casey? Look what Ross said. No entity, nobody spoke through Edgar Casey. I didn't get that at the time. Well, so I asked the question. In my mind, the same thing the questioner asked. Watch this. Watch this. He asked, well, where did the information come from? The Edgar Casey channel. I didn't start to get this, right? Till I read oahspe. Now, mind you, I'd read the Law of One years before oahspe. Maybe a decade. I might have read this in the late 90s, early 2000s, more than a decade, at least a decade, right? And over that time, sometimes you forget stuff when you don't keep going through it, right? But I remember because I was already up on Edgar Casey, right? So I think the logical question is what Don Elkins asked next. Well, if no entity spoke through Edgar Casey, right? Well, then where did the information come from, the Edgar Casey channel? Right? Watch this. We have, right? Watch this. Ross says, we have explained before that the intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy from eighth density or eighth octave. Remember your boy what's his name? Light-skinned cat, hot out here for a pimp. The actor. He was using my man's theories that, the periodic table was cyclical and ran off sound in octaves, right? In a pattern of 3, 6, and 9. He's, not the actor, but and I always try to do a video on him, and they always shut it down. They always shut it down. Watch this. Watch this. Now, it's a secret in here for the faithists, right? It's a secret in the raw material for the faithists to let you know, right? If somebody is saying they have a spiritual experience, and one of these people say that they tapped into this quote unquote Hall of Records, aka the Akashic. Listen, the Akashic record. This is one of the ways they fake. Watch this, y'all. Ross says, we have explained before that the intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy from the 8th octave. The one sound vibratory complex, or the person called Edgar, used this gateway to view the present, which is not the continuum you experience, but the potential social memory complex of this planetary sphere. The term your peoples have used for this is, look what it's got. It's got it in quotes, quote unquote, Akashic record. So even they know, even these spirits know, that place ain't called the Akashic record for the faithists, right? This is a dog whistle. This should be telling you right now, if somebody gets to talking about the Akashic record, right? They don't know what they talking about. They lying. Why? Faithists, who writes the record? Oh, my bad. I still got that up. Hold on, let me cut that off. Who writes? Watch this. It says, we have explained that the intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy from the 8th density or octave, right? And that the one sound vibratory complex called Edgar used this gateway to view present, which is not the continuum you experience, but the potential social memory complex of this planetary sphere. The term, let me go back to it. Here it goes. It says, hold on, let me take that off the screen too. Where is that at? Huh? Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. Yeah, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, y'all. Good looking, Nazarene. Shout out Elijah 7 up in here. Nazarene the scene. What's the word, Jelly Bird? We got up in here. Elijah 7, FGK Capone, Angelic, Eric Hine, Mahalia. My Iman's always been better than your Iman. Huh? My baby sis up in here. Chieftainess, huh? That's baby Cynthia Armage right there. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man. Thumb up the channel, man. Shout out to the Titans debate lead, my dog A Wizzy, RBG up in here, man. Shout out to everybody in here, man. This is how you know a nigga faking. Faith is right. You gotta listen to what they saying, right? Who writes the records of man's life? Who writes those second to second memories, feelings? Huh? Come on, Sister Key. Who write them? Is it an Akash? Does an Akash write the record? Who writes the record? Ain't it an Ashar? Huh? An Ashar, aka a guardian, writes the records. This is what's passed on to the Asaf. This is what's documented in the so-called Hall of Records, the so-called Akashic records. See, the thing is, right, you would never get Burger King mixed up with McDonald's. Why? Because right on the door is a big Burger King. It don't got Big Macs, it got Whoppers. You hear me? It got a clown, and this guy got a king with a crown on his head. You're never going to get them confused. Why? Because it's branded. The name is right on the building. Right? what it does, ran by who it's run by, the Burger Kings, McDonald's. You could, and just like on any library on earth, when you're walking into the library, don't it say library on it? Huh? Such and such county library of such and such city. You would never get the library confused with the fire department. Why? They look different, have different functions. Huh? And right on the front of a fire station or a library is its title. So why would in the place where the record be kept at, right, be named after the people that write the record? This is how you know they fake. This is how you know they ain't never been. Keep that always tucked in your little faith sack. You dig what I'm talking about? Remember, when quote unquote David went down there to the river, he ain't grabbed one smooth stone, he grabbed 5. Why? Because Goliath had 4 brothers. You ain't never gonna get the library confused with the fire department. They look different. They're totally different. The people who write the records of your life are called Ashar, not Akash. So that's always been a blemish for me. Once I really start understanding what was going on in the spiritual world with Edgar Cayce, right? But remember, hold on. Hold on. Let me go back down here real quick. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all something. Remember, it said, right, that Edgar Cayce didn't get his information from no entity, right? But now we see, you dig what I'm talking about, with stuff like this, we see that, you know, he may have had a lower type of, you know, first resurrection type experience, not second resurrection. No, I'm not denying that he had the experience. I absolutely believe he had the experience. But you got to listen to what's being told. And sometimes even the spirits expose themselves because they don't know everything. And if you had never been to the Ashar record, you wouldn't know that. It's right on the building, y'all. Just like McDonald's is on the front of McDonald's, the name of the library in heaven has a name on it. As above, so below, those spooky. Watch this. I didn't understand this right here, though, when he was saying no entity spoke through Edgar. But oahspe start to give a little insight on them. You dig what I'm talking about? Watch this. This is the story of Caillou, who we know historically as Confucius, right, of China. It's in oahspe, right? This is the book of the Arkaban, 3736. Watch this. This is at the end of it. It says, Nevertheless, his fame, talking about Caillou, Confucius, became so great that men followed him around, following him about, even when he traveled to distant provinces. And they watched for the words he spoke, and they wrote them down, and these were also made in the books. Now watch this. This is the only little insight I had ever got off this. How, if you coming from the spirit, right, that, you know, it was startling that the spirit can be wrong. They can just straight up lie to you. There's nothing that says they got to tell you the truth just because they spirit, but that's what I thought. I was always taught that God was always good. And true God is. But it's not till you understand that there are false gods. Huh? And this process, I didn't know this existed. Watch this. Because of the presence of God, we talking about Confucius, and his angels, God and his angels, Caillou, Confucius saw clearly and he heard clearly. Nevertheless, what? His inspiration was God by proxy. So through somebody else. Huh? And not like the inspiration of Chinese, who the land of China is named after today. To whom God, watch this, because, right? So with Confucius, he ruling by proxy through another lesser spirit, right? Not like the inspiration of Chinese, to whom God came in person. Remember, God is a man. One time living, breathing man, a spirit, just like any other spirit of the dead. He just got a job, a rank, a title, a position because of his knowledge. And what do they say? Knowledge is what, y'all? All right. Not like the inspiration of Chinese, to whom God came in person, dwelling with Chinese. Thus, on many occasions, Caillou did things of his own accord, and committed some blunders. But watch this. Watch this, though. But you still got to give me, remember, it told you about, let me go back and show you what it said. It said, we've explained this before, that intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy. You see that? Watch this. Watch what oahspe say, how these books get here. Watch this. Watch this. Right? Because it's gotta come from somewhere. Right? Right? And remember, we talking about these libraries in heaven, right? Look what oahspe got to say about it. Huh? Remember what we just showed. The Book of the Law 1 says, we've explained before that the intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy. Now we know that also that God can rule by proxy, right? But how does the information, right, get transferred from a spiritual or a metaphysical, subatomic, unseen realm down to a physical man to be able to write? Right? Look what oahspe got to say about it. Right? Dig this. Remember the energy, right? God said, who, by the way, is not the creator. God is the son of the creator. God is part of the creation too. God said, be wise, oh man, in the words of your God. My records, listen, remember we talking about these quote unquote Akashic records, huh? This hall of records. What it say? My records do not come up out of the ground, ooh, nor from the books of mortals. And this is why oahspe doesn't come from a handwritten manuscript from a man. It's the very first book in history to ever be totally typewritten and then electrotype casted. First one on both, proving its authenticity. Right? And then we still got the plates of the original, the John Lamp plates of the original to show that ain't none of it been Chinese. That's basically equating to, oahspe's John Lamp plates are the equivalent of the 2 tablets written with stone by the hand of God. Except we got our tablets. But look what it got to say. Remember, we talking about this hall of records. It said my stuff don't come out the ground. It don't come out of books of mortals. Look what it says. I open my heavenly libraries. Huh? This quote unquote Akashic record. Huh? I open my heavenly libraries. And what does he do? And find my living sons and daughters who once trod the earth. Trod mean walked, lived on earth. So he's not going to some getting it out of a book or out of a man's mind. He's going back to the people who were at the time and recasting the records of their lives back down. Watch this. I open my heavenly libraries and I find my living sons and daughters who once trod the earth. Their light, okay, there's that energy. Their light I recast down to mortals in a what? In a stream of fire. Huh? And lo, my words are rewritten or translated and formed into corporeal words. Search for the evidence of my footsteps on the earth. Huh? Look what it say. Say my words don't come out of the dirt. I go back to the living sons and daughters 50,000, 40,000, 30,000, 10,000, 5,000 years ago. And I recast their experiences down. Huh? Didn't it? What it say? What did the law one say? He didn't get it from nowhere. Where did the information come from? He said, we've tried to explain that intelligent infinity, creator, is brought into intelligent energy. Here it is, explained 101 years before with more clarity. How you want to find the creator? Well, then search for the evidence of his footsteps on the earth. Find the people who stand by the creator. Salute to the creator gang, man. Put the vortexes in the chat, man. Show some love to yourself. If you here, you are the most intelligent people on the internet. Trust me. We black banned and blackballed and everything over here. They don't want to hear none of this. But if you want to find the creator, find the people who standing by him, standing by the all one. It's only one group in America doing that for real, for real. Not no God, no Savior. Not no Lord. Not nobody born a woman. Find them people who standing by the creator, man. Salute to the creator, gang, gang. Shout the 4 horsemen. Who can shake their faith? Who can feed a faith that's like Cosmon with your story of a savior born of a woman? Let me ask y'all a question. Watch what it say. Right? Look at this right here, y'all. They say this book ain't for black folks. They say a racist read it. We ain't seen no proof of that. But let me show you what it do say. Listen to the voice of the millions of the Chinese. Anybody heard millions of Chinese? Talking about oahspe? Talking about being faithless? No, you haven't. Why? Still building. Listen to the voice of the millions in India. You heard this yet in India? You heard about the true story of Brahma in India yet? No. You think they want to tell the real truth about the god Brahma? You think that's got brought out yet? No. But look what it say right here. And remember, we looking for those who stand by the creator. We know in America, that's only 4 people. That's only one power group, the creator gang. How we know they a power group? Why? It says, watch this. We ain't heard no millions out of China and India yet. But it say, and the remnants of the Algonquins. Great Gichi, the praiser. In America, the great Algonquins. The Negroidal people, indigenous to the Americas. Funny, the 4 people who bringing this information out, all from America, all quote unquote Negroidal. And we the voice. They say those are the remnants of the Algonquins. How do we know it's them? Because in 2026, their Bible is a power. This is how we know they talking about oahspe. This is how they know they talking about creator gang. This is how we know they talking about the 4 horsemen. Salute Daryl Cosmon, the equalizer, my baby bro, Mikey, the Mikey of the Turtles. You dig what I'm talking about? AKA set it off. Set it off in his mother Malachi Megaton Light Bomb Maccabee. That's my baby, bro. And Mr. Set It Off himself. Mr. Peace. For those who know, you dig what I'm talking about? Mr. Peace. Selah Shalom, aka Selah Shilly. The 4 horsemen. Said, listen to the remnants of them niggas from America. Excuse my friends. Their Bibles are a power to this day. What Negroes in America got a Bible that's a power? It's only the faithless. It's only those with oahspe. Huh? These remnants of these Negro Americans, and their ancestors, their people are appalled at the work of your bloody sword. And that sword is not only physical, it's metaphorical and comes straight out the Bible. They will not bow down and worship as you decree. They will not fall down and worship as you decree. They know that the Creator is mightier than you. Be considerate of what? All races of men. Cosmon? Huh? They don't know Cosmon mean balance. If he's the creator and he's the creator of all, well, that means all men are sons and daughters of the Creator. Making them, in a sense, my cousins, brothers, and sisters. But look what it say. Be considerate of all the races of men and their doctrines, rites, and ceremonies. Behold, why? I will raise up the nations of the earth in my own way. I don't need you to do nothing, Cosmon. Nothing but what you doing. Nothing but what you inspired to do. Because I'm going to raise them up in my way. According to the times and the conditions of mortals, so do I administer to them from my heavenly kingdoms. This is why the four horsemen. Salute my brothers, man. It is truly a pleasure and an honor to be serving my Father with you boys, man. We're going to be doing this a long time. You have tried to convert all my people. You've tried to convert all my people, but have failed utterly. Behold, I come now with a new book, and they will accept it from my hand. I prophesied this to you. Y'all want to hear some new prophecy from oahspe? Huh? I prophesy this to you beforehand, so that you shall witness in time to come that I, God of heaven and earth, have spoken. Nor shall you say, man of himself progresses, and that such and such would have come of a quote unquote natural order. Watch this. I say to you, man does not, I say to you, man does not progress except by me through my angel host in heaven, in testimony of which, this is how you prove it, I have left many peoples before you for hundreds of years. Your natural order is laziness and uncleanliness. When you are quickened in spirit, behold, it is the heavens upon you that stirs you up. Let's see what 843 is saying. Right? Where is that at? Where is that at? Because I see the whatchamacallit down there. Let's see what it's saying. Is that what it's like? Where's the okay. Let me go over here and finish it. Right? And then we'll just go down. In testimony of which I've left many peoples before you for hundreds of years, your natural order is laziness and uncleanliness. When you are quickened in spirit, behold, it is the heavens upon you that stirs you up. You shall not mistake the teachings of your God, which was manifested the same in the ancient days as in this day, which is to to worship your creator only, to not bow down. Now, this is God talking. God is telling you to praise the creator only, to not bow down to any other God or Lord, even him. Let that sink in. God told you to praise somebody else. To not bow down to any other God or Lord. To love your neighbor, listen, and to do good to others with all your wisdom and strength, having faith in the Almighty, right? Is there anything else that you need to do? Didn't even Yeshua tell you that all the law hangs on this? To love your neighbor and to do good with others, to do good to others with all your wisdom and strength. Wouldn't that be all you gotta do? Yeshua told you all the law hang on these two things. Let's see what it say down here in 843, right? Let's go down. It says, so he attributes all progress to man's ingenuity or else dumb luck. But according to the Osari, even if the triggering event were accidental, by chance, or quote unquote random, yet it was man alone, not some supposed creator or God, responsible for useful explanation or application. Hence, in general, this is the materialist, at best defines progress as a subjective judgment. And to the extent that they acknowledge the concept of progress, they attribute the source either to the natural, you heard that word nature and natural a lot lately. They attribute the source either to the natural course of events or scientific cause and effect, or else to man's intelligence taking advantage of and building upon chance occurrences, resulting in, i.e., or e.g., innovations and inventions, thus making progress possible, right? Idolaters, to the extent that they believe in progress, attribute the source to their idol, perhaps through his underlings, angels, saints, avatars, etc. But faithists understand that progress comes from the Creator, the Great Spirit, including through his kingdoms, officers, and hosts. In America, that understanding is called manito, right? The faithist understands, right, that progress comes from the Creator, the Great Spirit, including through his kingdoms, officers, and hosts, the least of which is individual initiative and effort inspired by the light of the Creator, and progress increases in effectiveness as compact or organic unity is achieved and grows, a greater compact is reached. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Watch this. The 843. Here you go. My bad. Recall the sentiment. Progress comes of natural order. Right? That's in the first book of God, 28 and 11. This is the claim of many philosophers, right? Especially the evolutionists, for theories of natural selection, evolution, survival of the fittest, and enlightened self-interest, exampled in works such as Adam Smith's 1776 Wealth of Nations and Darwin's 1859 on the origin of species by natural selection were and are taken as substantiating the notion that progress is the natural order of life. While that may seem to hold true for the animal and plant creation and other biological organisms, yet were man to solely follow that, he would not progress but devolve, not evolve, devolve into ever worsening animal behavior. Fortunately, man has a higher cause as well, and this higher cause inspires him to progress. But the materialist or the Osarian denies any cause of progress except that man himself generates or invents. Thus, he allows for some combination of psychological causes, social causes, and natural causes, as in biological and environmental causes, based on the laws of physics or other constants in the universe. And the actions of these, he would assert, bring about necessity, which is then looked upon as a mother of invention, or quote unquote nature shows example, which man then exploits. And this is where they go back, which man then exploits. So he attributes all progress to man's ingenuity or else to dumb luck. But according to the Osirian or the materialist, even if the triggering event were accidental, by chance, random, yet it was man alone, not some supposed creator or God, responsible for useful explanation or application. Hence, in general, the materialist at best defines progress as a subjective judgment. And that's what we hear them do all day. And to the extent that they acknowledge the concepts of progress, they attribute the source either to the natural course of events, scientific cause and effect, or else to man's intelligence taking advantage of building upon chance occurrences, resulting in innovations or inventions, thus making progress possible. But I wanted to show y'all what oahspe was saying about how these books get down here. Their light I recast down to mortals in a stream of fire, and lo, my words are rewritten. I open up the heavenly libraries and find my living sons and daughters who once trod the earth. See, what y'all don't know is right here, what he just told y'all is how to time travel. Check. He just taught you how to time travel. So you don't get in a machine and go to time. Right? You don't go back to time. No. You go within self and you bring time to you. He said, I open up the heavenly libraries and find my living sons back then. I rebroadcast their lives down. The crazy part excuse me, is 101 years later, we got another channel book. And guess what? It agrees. It says, we have explained before that the intelligent infinity is brought into intelligent energy from the identity or octave. One sound complex Edgar Casey used this gateway to view the present. And look, he didn't go he didn't go to the past, he went to the present. Because ain't the past, well, when does the past stop being the past and start being the future? And when does the future start being the present and stop being the past? Right now. Huh? So he looked into the time continuum, right? Which is not, watch this. Edgar used this gateway to view the present, which is not the continuum you experience, but the potential social memory of the planetary sphere. What he's seeing was a potentiality that could happen. This is why he was on point about a lot of stuff, but this is why he was wrong about other stuff. And if you ever heard about Akashic Records, you only got it from Edgar Cayce. But then you'll hear people saying, oh, they went. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah? And you say, what's the name of it again? Oh, it's the Akashic Record. Cosmonian. You silly twat. Pip, pip, true. Right? You know they fake it. But watch this. We in the law one again. Hold on. Wait a minute. What is y'all doing? All this oahspe, right? All this oahspe up in a book that's over a century after it was written. What? Huh? Watch what it says. The questioner asks, I don't wish to take up extra time asking questions over again, right? Some areas I consider important enough in relation to the law of one to ask questions in a different way in order to get another perspective and an answer. It says, now look, this the book of the law of one. It says, in the book of oahspe, right? He asked me. Shout out Don Elkins. He must have read this. He said, in the book of oahspe, it states that if an entity goes over 51% service to others and is less than 50% service to self, then that entity is, quote unquote, harvestable. Is this correct? So he asked them about a quote in oahspe 100 years later. Watch this. Ra said, this is correct. If the harvesting is to be for the positive fourth dimensional level, what is it to be the entity's, what is to be the entity's percentage if he is to be harvest for the negative? Watch this. Watch this. Very crazy how he say this. And then we're going to go into oahspe and see what oahspe got to say about this system that the law of one is putting down and agrees with oahspe with. Watch this. What is to be the entity's percentage if he has to be harvested for the negative? Ra says the entity who wishes to pursue the path of service to self, listen, must attain to a grade of 5. That's very key. Watch this. This is very key. Wherever you ever heard of spiritual rates or spirits being measured by their rate, it's only in oahspe. And then it's being doubled down upon 100 years later in the law of one. You ain't never heard spirit on a grade system. That's one of the things that's unique to oahspe. Huh? Look what it said. The entity who wishes to pursue the path of service to self, selfishness. must attain a grade of 5 to go negatively the other way. Watch this. That is 5% service to others and 95% service to self. It must approach totality. The negative path is quite difficult to attain harvestability upon and requires great dedication to the negative path. Watch this. Why? He asks, why is the negative path so much more difficult to attain harvestability upon than the positive? He said, this is due to a distortion of the law of one, which indicates that the gateway to intelligent infinity be a gateway at the end of a straight and narrow path, as you may call it. To attain 51% dedication to the welfare of others or other selves is as difficult, listen, is as difficult as attaining a grade of 5% dedication to other selves. The, shall we say, sinkhole of indifference is between those two, is between 51 and 5. Watch this. He asks, then if an entity is harvested into the fourth density with a grade of 51% for others and 49% for self, that level of the fourth density, he said, what level of the fourth density would he go into? I am assuming that there are different levels of the fourth density, right? Ross says this is correct. Each enters that quote unquote sub-density, which vibrates in accordance with the entity's understanding. Huh? So how you live your life, right, predicts where you gonna go when you die. Ain't that oahspe's whole reason for being? To teach you how to hear the voice of the Creator, to see his heavens in full consciousness, and to know of a surety where you gonna go before you die. That's the whole point of oahspe. Hear, see, know. Huh? He says, I'm assuming that there are different levels in the fourth density. Ross says this is correct. Each enters a sub-density, which vibrates in accordance with the entity's understanding. Watch this. Watch what oahspe say. Huh? We've seen how to get down there, but remember, the earth is in system and order. Everything worked together. As a matter of fact, man is the only cog in the wheel. Right? All creation works together like a watch, like a clock. And if we can see the physical world that we live in has a basis in mathematics, right? One, that means it's a mind behind it, right? But that means if everything down here is systematic, on the below as above, it must be systematic also. Well, what's the system? Huh? The law of one just told you. Huh? The brother just told you. Let's get into it. Because see, this is oahspe, Book of Judgment, chapter 6, right? Of resurrections in the words of God, who again is a one-time living, breathing man, no different than you is right now, eating Cheetos, Funyuns, Oreos, drinking Faygo pop. Huh? Veggie tacos, hummus. Don't matter. What I'm trying to say is there is a system in order to all things. Huh? Even the resurrection. Remember, oahspe is the primary. Now we're sequencing the sources between the two. Because remember, they already told you oahspe from the good guys. And that the system is right. Right? Anything over 51 or over half, you on the right path to go up. Watch this. It's a whole system in order, man. Creator is real. Watch this. Whether on earth or in heaven, the same rules apply to both. Huh? Right off top, I just walk them right into the punches. I don't tell them to stick their face out there. I don't. I promise you I don't. But I'll walk you right into the punches. Why? Because as above, so below, whether on earth or in heaven, the same rules apply to both. Uh-oh. What do you mean, Cosmo? We can't get spooky? Come on, man. We want to be spooky, bro. Huh? We're talking about resurrection. Watch this. He who serves himself one half and serves others one half shall stand at grade 50. Huh? Do that make sense? If you serve people 50% of their time and you serve yourself 50% of the time, when you die, is it fair? Hit me with a vortex in the chat. Is this fair? That you done lived your physical life to the 50, right? That when you die, you go to a heaven situated for the 50s. And so you don't got to learn 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. You already learned that on earth. Ain't that fair that you get started off where you left off at? He who serves himself one half and serves others one half shall stand at grade 50. Let me throw this up there while I'm reading, so y'all can get a little visual of what's really going on. Shout out to my brother Selah Shalom, man. You know, we visual people. You dig what I'm talking about? And sometimes it helps, right, to see it. He who serves himself 50% of the time and serves others 50% of the time when he died shall stand at grade 50. He who serves himself 3/4 of the time and others 1/4 of the time shall stand at grade 25. You 75% selfish, 25% unselfish. So when you die, you go to a place situated for the 25s. Is that fair? Huh? But he who serves himself 1/4, you only serve yourself selfishly 1/4 of the time, and others 3/4 of the time, or 75% of the time, shall stand at grade 75. Listen, remember them numbers, right? Remember what's the number? 5 and 1, right? He who serves himself only shall stand at what? Grade 1. He who serves others wholly shall stand at grade 99. And whoever serves accordingly himself or others shall stand in grade even as his works manifest. Ain't that what we just read in the law of one? Huh? Huh? Each enters a subdensity which vibrates in accordance with the entity's understanding. Right? And whoever serves accordingly himself or others shall stand in grade as his works manifest. To serve oneself is to work for oneself, to strive for oneself, to think of one's own self as to what will benefit one's own self only. To serve others is to do good, to help them, to teach them joy and comfort. This is the service of the Great Spirit. But there are some who are what? Watch this. There are some who are below the grades. If this is school, you not even in kindergarten. You're not in kindergarten. You're not in kindergarten. There's some people who below the grades, who seek to do evil. Come on, man. Who seek to make others unhappy. Huh? We know some people like this. We know some people who delight in crime and pollution. I wish I had some faithists in here. Huh? These, if mortals, shall be called drugs. Huh? What is a drug? Those who seek to do evil. Those who seek to make people unhappy. Those who are below the grades spiritually. How do we know? You don't help nobody. Who delight in crime and pollution. And pollution could be throwing schmut on somebody's name. So notice, being a drunk ain't got nothing to do with skin color, but everything about what you do. So when I tell a lot of these brothers that, you know, a drunk is a warrior, a low person, right? Yeah, they can be black, just like you a drunk, and you just so happen to be black. But Netanyahu's a drunk. He white. Trump is a drunk. He white. Huh? Xi Jinping is a drunk. He Asian. It's not about your skin color. It's not about your race. It's not about your ethnicity. It's about what you do for other people. Huh? If you're mortal and you low, you demonic, you warrior like, huh? You ain't seeking no light. You want to seek to do evil. You a drunk. And if that same entity is a spirit, it's called a druja or druge, singular. See, the grades of my heavens of the earth being atmosphere, the atmosphere, in general, follow this manner. Watch this. Remember they were talking about the grade 50, 51. Grade 1 is on the earth. Let me go back. Let me show. Grade 1 is on the earth. Huh? Grade 1 is on the earth. Grade 50, midway between the earth and the emancipated heavens, ethereal. Huh? Grade 25 is 1/4 of the way up from the earth. toward Etheria, but grade 75 is 3/4 of the way up toward Etheria, and so on. Intermediate grades and places of ascent corresponding in like manner, just like school. Remember, the whole point is experience, right? But watch this. Grade 99 is the highest atmospheric grade, preparatory to entrance into the company of the all pure in spirit. But good works alone are not sufficient to attain the highest grades. Listen, for they require knowledge and capacity to unfold others. So to acquire great knowledge, you have to have the want to do good for others. And the want to do good for others requires knowledge. To accomplish which, those of the higher grades, hold on, to accomplish which, those of the higher grades shall often return to the lower and learn to lift them up. For this is what caused the Etherians, right, to lift these people from the lower. This is what calls them in times of resurrections. Accordingly, the righteous who are yet mortal begin at once lifting up their fellows, which labor is to the experience. Watch this. Accordingly, the righteous, watch this, not everybody, the righteous who are yet mortal, so you still living, become faithless at once and begin lifting up their fellows. You become followers of the Great Spirit. And begin at once lifting up your fellows, which, watch this, lifting up your fellows, which labor is to the spirit, right? Lifting up your fellows is to the spirit as exercise is to the mortal body. This is how you get strong spiritually. You're constantly giving away. To get strong physically, you got to constantly be putting the work in on self. But it's just the opposite in spirit. You got to be putting the work into others. That's the difference between God and man, right? God is no less a density of man. It's just a higher density. Man, you can think of man and God as if water, right? Man in his corporeal body is like ice in its solid, dense state. When he dies, he leaves this physical shell and would be, in a sense, liquid water. Still atmospheric, yet transparent, right? Like the spirit. But then there's a higher realm. Watch this. Helping people is like exercise to the spirit. It's that which gives strength. Judge then, this is how you know where you're going. Judge then yourself, O man of the earth, as to the place your spirit will rise in the time of your death. It's on you where you about to go. Huh? It's on you. Right? And they kept talking about this law of one. Where is this law of one broken down? We live in a three-dimensional world, right? Of things inside of things inside of things. We have part of corporeality that you can see and part that you can't see. Well, what is the all one called? Huh? It's right here in the book of the Creator, chapter 1. 1 and 1, all was, all is, all shall ever be. The all spoke, and motion was, and is, and ever shall be. And being positive was called he and him. The all motion was his speech. That is all space and time and matter, right? Being put in motion by sound, cymatics, which creates force, which creates movement. They say that movement is the speech of the Creator. Now, watch this. Y'all want to see something crazy? Watch this. Let's ask the AI one simple thing. Right? Remember, motion is the speech of the Creator. Right? And it got to be all things. So that means all things got to be in motion. Watch this. Let's ask the question. Are all things in motion? Okay. All right. Hold on. Watch this. Are all things in motion? Cosmon don't make up none of this. I don't make up not a word. I just look at reality. It say something. If oahspe say something, I better be able to point at it, or it ain't real to me. I'm saying what oahspe say it ain't perfect. So why would I take it as perfect? Why would I believe it? Especially uncritically. Huh? But motion is the Creator's speech. He said all things were. Are and forever will be. Motion is my speech. So that means if you are all things, well, then are all things in motion? Yes, absolutely. Everything in the universe is in constant motion. Even when you are sitting completely still, you are moving through space on multiple overlapping rides. Huh? I ain't making up none of this. But what's this law of one? They talking about a being behind everything, a causal point. Huh? It said sound created motion. This is understandable. This is the science of cymatics. Huh? But also, sound creating motion and moving, creating substance, is the science of sonoluminescence. Sound creating motion, creating force, creating light. Sound creates motion creates force, creates substance. Sound. Me and Kev Capone got to get on that. Right? I got a joint for that. Beat crazy too. Sound creates motion, creates force, creates substance. It's the sound of creation. This joint go knock. Watch this. We trying to find this all one, right? In this great duality that we in. And why is the duality apparent? Huh? But the oneness behind it is not always apparent. One, because creator can't be comprehended all the way. But watch this. He said, I am. And he comprehended all things, the seen and the unseen. Nor is there anything in all the universe that is not part of him. So we just seen that if motion was a speech and all things are in motion. He's also saying he is the things that you can comprehend and the stuff you can't comprehend. He is the seen and the unseen. And he's saying everything in the universe is a part of him. It's not outside of him. Right? We're it. Right? And they think we stuck on this because now we know why we call him, because positive energy. Right? Positive energy is male. Right? The negative energy is female, or hence receptive, magnetic. Right? But you need both. He comprehended all. The seen and the unseen. He said, I am the soul of all, and all that is seen. Anything that is seen is part of my person and my body. So that means worlds, moons, quasars, galaxies, planets, suns, people. Anything that can be seen. Now we get into that oneness, huh? By virtue of my presence, all things are. By virtue of my presence, life is. By virtue of my presence, the living are brought forth into life. I am the quickener, the mover, the creator, the destroyer. I am first and last. But here comes that one, huh? He been hitting at it the whole time, but gonna clear it up, Jaja. I am two apparent entities. What two apparent entities? I am the stuff you can see, and I am the stuff you can't see. And I'm the cause behind them. Look, he says right here, I am the quickener, the mover. But he says apparent. That means you can look at in our third density, right? And it says I am apparent two entities. I am two apparent entities. Nevertheless, what? I am only one. Huh? The understanding, the law of one, is the understanding that there is only one creator. It is what you can see and what you can't see, and the unfolding of the universe through the scientific method is only steps to unraveling this law of one. Hit me with some vortexes in the chat. Because here we just found it. I am two apparent entities. I look like light, I look like dark. I look like up, look like down. Huh? These entities are the unseen. The stuff you can't see is potent, like energy. You can't see it. You can just see the effects that it has upon corporeality or material. But you can't see, right? Kinetic energy moving in space and all that you do. Right? You see the result of what it do. This is why the energy, like magnetism, is unseen. It's the potent part. Right? But the seen, the physicality, right? The physical part is of itself impotent. Unseen, potent. Seen, impotent. So the unseen dominates over the seen. This is why science is trying to understand the unseen causes behind physical seen phenomena. Why? Because it is the same thing spirituality is doing objectively. These entities are the unseen, which is potent, and the seen, which is of itself impotent and called corpor, physicality. But these two entities, right, in likeness of myself through them, right, of the seen and the unseen, I made all the living. Huh? Ain't you a part that you can see? And there's a part that you also can't see. When a man is alive and you look in his eyes, he's there. You can see it. Huh? But soon as he passes away, right? That thing that was in him that was unseen leaves the body impotent and powerless, dead. So the unseen has always ruled the seen because the unseen is potent and the seen world of itself is impotent. And this is why things like the unified field theory and all that stuff are lacking one major component, the motion. Where does the motion come from? Where does the initial motion? The motion. Huh? Even in the Big Bang, you had to condense, right? You had to condense the material. What started the initial motion? Gravity had to already be there. Everything had to already be there. All was, all is, all shall ever be. It's another key also to show you that light doesn't travel, but we'll get into that another day. Now, with these two entities and likeness of myself, through them, I made all the living. All the living are something you can see, right, which is impotent, and something you can't see, which is potent. Right? He said he made all the living like that. For as the life is the potent part, that's the part you can't see. Nobody knows where life come from. Huh? Life is the potent part, so the corporeal part is the impotent part. So we just found out that the law of one is the understanding that the creator is apparent, two apparent things, a thing you can see and a thing you can't see. And yet, it She. Huh? She. Wait a minute. Watch this. Hold on one second. Maybe thinking I'll be capping. Hold on. Hold on one second. Oh, shh. Oh. Hold on. Let's way back here. Okay. Why my computer won't move? 1 second, y'all. Alright. I don't know why my computer won't move. Alright.
No, get out.
Let me show you all this. It's from the book of Safar, right? Watch this. Showing you that the creator also has a quote unquote feminine aspect. Right? Remember, we was trying to find this law that governs one, right? Look what it says. Power does not come by supplication, but by going forth. Spiritual gifts do not come by going forth with might, but by waiting in supplication. This is from Brahma. Nevertheless, watch this. The all one is just one. This is the law of one. Huh? Here it go, y'all. We was looking for that law of one, right? It's only in oahspe. Nevertheless, the all one is just one, but with two attributes, seen and unseen. Brahma said, oh, what? Give to my soul. O Eolin, I am going forth to labor. Be with me. The ever-present Om. The ever-present Eloah. Right? The all self gave two attributes to every man self. So remember, the creator got to be all things. And when we talk about male, we talking about energy. We're not talking about penises and vaginas. We're talking about positive and negative energy. How do we know? Because the all self gave two attributes to every man or female, the and the na, the negative and the positive, so that he could hold discourse with himself. Watch this. In seeking a wife, see to it that own. Her feminine is her transcendent virtue, her magnetism, her receptance, huh? Her ability to bring forth is her transcendent virtue. Otherwise, she will be like a thorn in your side. This is from Abraham. Watch this. I got to take this dog out and I'm going to go ahead and end up out of here. Until a man has owned an ascendant, he shall not hear or see the great spirit. This is from the first monotheist ever, Zarathustra. You dig what I'm talking about? And with that being said, man, I don't think I got to say no more on the law of one. You know, we can get down into some other stuff, but I thought I didn't even know this was up, man. Let me take this little dog outside real quick. I'm gonna drop the link in a second, man. I'm gonna come right back in, man. Go through some of these texts and see what's up and see what y'all saying in the chat real quick, man. Here we go. Let's rock. Hold on, one second, y'all. 1 second.
Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. Can we teach and you listen? Everything is gonna change. Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. Can we teach and you listen? Everything is gonna change.
Give us 60 seconds, we'll tilt your skylight on the inside where the old fears lie. Soul get tuned like a harp in the hand. Ethereal notes pull you out of quicksand. You'll feel your breath meet the ever one. Old death shrink when the true work's begun. Angelic math, not just prayers on repeat. It's knowledge that makes the broken complete. A calm in the chest, a no one like dawn. Chains on the heart, one by one. You learn to keep company with the light. Make your shadow kneel, make your courage right.
Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. If we teach and you listen, everything is gonna change. Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. If we teach and you listen, everything is gonna change.
We'll give you maps of the heavens and streets. How thought builds worlds and how wisdom meets the sea. Cosmic bookkeeping, cause and reply. Why the small decisions reshape the sky. Learn the language where phenomena speak. Why cycles repeat and what makes men weak. History flips when you read by the beam. What looks like chaos is a finer scheme. You read the signs that the blinded miss. Turn rumor to law, turn chance into bliss. Mental tools, not just scripture and chant, but ways to think, to reason, the plan.
Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. If we teach and you listen, everything is gonna change. Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. If we teach and you listen, everything is gonna change.
Walk out the room and your steps rearrange. Everything practical, start to exchange. Decision become less of a blindfold toss. You move like a bishop and not like a lost horse. Relationships heal when you talk from the sun. Anger grows quiet, new labor's begun. Money, time, they bow to a clearer mind. Choices get cheaper when the truth you find. You carry a lamp for the road ahead. Turn timid whispers into thunder said. Not just faith of facts, a living combined. Spirit enlightened, intellect refined.
Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called your name. If we teach and you listen, everything is gonna change. Can we teach for a minute? Jehovah's called
As I divided into two parts, and I commanded man to name them, and he called one Etheria and the other Atmospheria. These are the three kinds of worlds I created, but I gave different densities to Atmospherian worlds, and different densities to the Etherian worlds. For the substance of my Etherian worlds, I created Ethi, the most rarefied. Out of Ethi made I them, and I made Ethi the most subtle of all created things, and gave to it power and place, not only by itself, but also power to penetrate and exist within all things, even in the midst of the corporeal worlds. And to Ethi gave I dominion over both Atmospheria and Corpor. In the all highest places created I the Etherian worlds, and I fashioned them of all shapes and sizes, inhabit able both within and without, with entrances and exits, in arches and curves, colors and movable chasms and mountains in endless change and brilliancy. Neither created I one Etherian world like another in size or density or in component parts, but everyone differing from another, and with a glory matchless each in its way. There is no limit to Jehovah's glory, no two creations alike, yet all perfect. Beyond the earth, beyond the body, beyond death, awaits the endless heavens, the inheritance of all souls.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word, and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word, and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one.
Before the earth took shape, new sound of sight, the creator sliced the time in the day and night. He breathed through void till the ether stirred, then sent angels and prophets to teach his word. Motion, notion, devotion aligned, encoded design in the spine of time. Wind wrote signs on the breath of the prime, S intertwined with the flesh of the line. Quick and the killer, conceiver entwined, dual divine, the ether confined, two entities birthed, corpor and S. Life compressed in the vortex nest, spirit in the mist, physics resist. Matter persist in Jehovah's fist. Dust kiss flame, clay became twist. Anatomy gift from the infinite list. Male and female named through air. EOE, that sacred blare, not beast, not star. Not anywhere but the whisper of wind as a builder's prayer. Vortex speak, the sequence hum, the life resume. From void to bloom, to eat the groom, creation's womb. Every tune in the flames plume, a living rune. If your soul need food, here's what you consume.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sun, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah, symmetry sun, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one.
Three states of worlds I made, corporeal terrain, an atmosphere and chain to Etherian planes. Ether the pure, obscure domain. The ghost of light, free the soul from shame. Atmosphere, field and flow. AGA, nebula glow. Currents collide where the comets go. Gravity bent with the vortices, so sound became law. Law gave sight, and every soul aligned in Jehovah's light. His love gave reason, and the heart beats. Walk with Azu where the light was born. heaven breathed with a mortal form. Lord met love and the veil was torn. The seed took root in the coil's perfume. Sense evolved under the sun and the moon. Time broke the sleep of a deep commune. And now man learns pattern from teeth to spoon. From breath to balance, the Most High dropped clues from speech and sequence. The spirit world moved from page to prophecy through mahogany hues. If your mind need peace, here's the key to consume. The book of Jehovah, symmetry simple. Heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung. Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah.
What is the difference between a god, goddess, and a lord?
In Jehovah's great creation, every soul has a place in the unfolding harmony of light. But what is the true difference between a god, a goddess, and a lord in the spiritual hierarchy revealed in oahspe? A god or goddess in oahspe is a high-ranking soul appointed by jehovih to oversee an entire division of the atmosphere and heavens or parts of the earth during a danha cycle. They govern vast spiritual dominions, lead resurrection efforts, educate billions of souls, and establish divine order and peace. Their office is both sacred and temporary, and they are held accountable to the light. A lord, while also a being of great advancement, serves a more localized role. Lords are appointed beneath the god or goddess to oversee specific divisions, such as a continent, a nation, or certain tribes of people. Lords guide, teach, and uplift within a more focused region of earth and its corresponding spiritual plane. They often work directly with mortals and Esyans, and they are deeply connected to humanity's cultural and spiritual development. Gods and goddesses hold greater responsibility and govern larger spheres. Lords serve under their direction, fulfilling important missions within smaller fields. But both are equal in devotion, both are sacred in service, and both rise through light, love, and surrender to Jehovah's will. In oahspe's heavenly order, the question is not who is higher, but who serves more fully in the light. A lord may one day become a god. A god may return again as a lord. All rise and descend through cycles, each fulfilling their sacred part in the celestial symphony of Jehovah's will.
For each and every corporeal world, created our vortex first, and by its rotation and by the places in the firmament whither it traveleth, caused our the vortex to conceive. For each and every corporeal world, created our vortex first.
I think we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here on this one, y'all. You dig what I'm talking about? Ain't nobody hit the lane, nobody come in, man. Then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here on this one. It's my joint, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Hey, man. Love, light, balance out there, man. Peace to all those who are in search of the light, man. You know, keep searching, man. It finds you. The more, you know, you search, right? Watch this. This is my joint. This is my joint, sis. Watch, look though. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. This is my joint, man. Hey, man. Salute to the gang, man. And all those who stand by the creator, man. Love, light, balance out there. And y'all just you know, keep standing on it, man. You dig what I'm saying? Keep standing on that. You know what I mean? Know that your creator is real, man. Don't believe nothing, man. Don't believe anything. Search it and Make it prove itself meritoriously to you. Don't take Cosmon's word for it. Don't take nobody's word for it. oahspe say, don't take the words of men, angels, nor gods. Don't just accept it. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, hey, Sister Kitty said, wait a minute. Hey, check it out though, man. This is my joint, man, and we out of here, man. Y'all breathe in. Let that light in. I'm Cosmon. I'm out.
In every corporeal world, created I a vortex first, and by its rotation and by the places in the firmament whither it traveleth, caused I the vortex to conceive the corporeal world. A great vortex created I for the sun, and within this vortex and subject to it, made I the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. Think not, oh, think not, think not, oh man, that I created in the sky a barren waste and void of use. Even as man in the corporeal form is adapted to the corporeal earth, so is he in the spiritual form adapted to my ethereal worlds. Three great estates have I bestowed on man: the corporeal, the atmosphere, and the ethereal. Things that man sees, created I with a beginning and an end. But the unseen I made of endless duration. The corporeal man made I belonging to the scene, but the spiritual man made I as one within the unseen and everlasting. As the corporeal man beholdeth corporeal things, so doth the spiritual man follow upward the evaporated corporeal entities of things. As corporeal things are tangible to corporeal world.
Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all. We in the book of Suit. And the trumpet sounded, every shadow withdrew. False crowns cracked, and the prophecy grew. Jehovah's law rose strong like it always do. Pay attention, y'all. We in the book of Suit.
When the crowns fell silent and the kings all died, Jehovah's son came forth with a lamp at his side, illuminating every cycle through a cosmic script. Who walked the path of light when the night got thick? Patterns came back around like a clock reset. A lesson for the ages you ain't seen yet. The covenant endured while the nations wept. Remnants kept the flame while the false one slept. No soul abandoned, no heart left alone. The light freed man from the Game of Thrones. Prophets warned early how the dark would act. False lords fronted hard till the heavens collapsed, but the faithful held steady when the chaos grew.
Have here
A guy has his lips stuck to the pole.
It's his third time this week.
The